Hey everyone, welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Tactical Tuesday, where we're going to talk about gear, tactics, gears, and more. And tonight's topic, preparing, is it worth the bother? And how's everybody doing out there? For those of you who haven't seen it yet, both here and on Camp Patton Family Compound, I posted two different videos. I shared them out oppositely on the community tabs of each here. We had some gnarly lightning strike storms going on, and then it turned, started out, there's a little bit of rain. The wind was blowing today, and then a little bit of rain, and then the lightning, and then the lightning, and then the hail, and then the hail. And so there's some stuff on that. But before we get into that, I want to jump over here to the comment section here and say hi to everybody. And the first one in was Uncle Al at Die Bullfrog 79. Then Lewis, it's the Marshmallow Man. Then the great Joe at Garden State Gardener. Then it's CB at Hugo Homestead. I got Janice at Word Again Homestead. And got Jeremy at Tennessee Tactical One. And let's see, Kaylin Strain's in the house. Suburban Hillbillies here. Denise, Green Granny 2 is here. Tibor is in the house. Barry at Storms, Radios, and Cats. Jay is here. Did I say Suburban Hillbilly? Yes, that's Suburban Hillbilly. Trying to keep up. Everybody's talking, so it's which is great, but it makes it hard for me to try to see who's coming in. Everyone's talking. Moon over Miami. Hey, how's it going? And let's see, Alicia D is here from north of the border. And Laura at Hedgehog's Homestead. Oh, that's who I forgot to email it to. Oh, and let's see. Everybody's here talking. Trying to see if anybody news popping. Oh, Suzanne is here. And Passamaquoddy. And Grammy Karen is here. And everybody is talking up a storm. I love it. Gear Grinding 19. Hey, Gear, how's it going? And King Poopa is in the house. Hey, Dustin. All right, so before I jump into that, I want to share something else here out here. If I can get the thing to open up here right. There it is. Okay, so this is, you can see, Chris shared this, so I posted this. I know you can't hear it, but it's just coming down, and it kept coming down, and it kept coming down, and it kept coming down. I had to get out there with the snow shovel to clear it off before, because it was still raining a little bit, and it turned into a super slushy, and it was nasty trying to get it off of everywhere. So yeah, that's what's kind of going on here. It wasn't that big. I mean, it was like little styrofoam balls in one of those bean bags, but it was a lot of it. Did I miss anybody else coming in? Star Homestead India is here. Hey, Star. And yeah. And so let me go ahead and drop that. And I froze. And speaking of temperatures, Jeremy was talking about, okay, so it's the high got up to 39, it said. And I did. I got to think. So it got up to 39 degrees here. The low tonight is supposed to be 28. Fortunately, it's not minus 28 like it was last week. Tomorrow's high is 32, drops down for a low of 20 tomorrow night, and that's about the way it goes for the rest of the week. What I was really worried about is that all that slushy, it's like a Slurpee from 7-Eleven laying over everything. And if that froze solid tonight, we ain't going to be able to get that off for several, at least a week or so. So, all right, penny pinching preppers in the house. And Shady Hill Homestead's here. Welcome. And so who else I miss here? Okay, so let me bring up the go over to this here, and then we'll talk about this here. So, prepping, is it worth the bother? Well, there's several things going on right now, and I've been getting several of the economic channels I follow are talking about major problems with the economy going on, and a possible total, nosedive worse than 2008. And there are also, also what's going on, and I'll be talking about this more on Thursday night on Midnight Ride. There are a lot of stores that are shuttering or going to be shuttering after the first of the year. And so that's going to make a lot of problems. Kroger, which owns Fred Meyer and Smith's Foods and several other ones, and I think they're working on a deal to buy out Albertsons and Safeway as well, and they're now talking about closing down stores. Hey Wayne, how's it going? We have the ungrateful peasant in the house. All right, so let's go on this here. So the reason I picked these, this is from the Great Depression. This is the bread and soup kitchen lines. The reason I picked that is because 3 different economic channels are talking about the problems that this is going to spur with the food supply, and some stores will have food in them, but the prices are going to go sky high, and people aren't going to be able to afford it. And that's one of the things we all need to be prepped for. And of course, remember last week. Yeah, the polar vortex. And some areas are still feeling the effect now from it as it makes its way gone. And was that it? Nope. There's bad stuff, possibly happen all over when the economy goes down. And what sort of bad stuff? Well, what to expect? These guys are talking about food shortages, because trucking industry is going to have problems. The refining industry is going to start producing less diesel fuel, which means the farmers are going to be growing less, which means the truckers are going to be less truckers running, and it's just going to be a total all over the place here. And so this is already happening. There's already stuff being posted on Twitter, on Facebook, and even some videos here on this platform about medicine shortages, particularly about adolescent medicines and toddler medicines, dealing with colds and stuff. It's like, oh, we're going to wait until the cold season. Oh, we got a shortage on it. Doesn't sound like it's planned to me. And of course, power outages. So that's something to look forward to. And of course, along with that, they're already talking again about propane shortages being a problem going forward here, and the prices going up. Those that have firewood, the prices have gone up dramatically here in the last 2 weeks. And it's if you can find it. And just, it's going to be bad conditions all around. Of course, soup kitchens. And of course, the hey, it's going to be great. It's going to be good. This one's a certain party. Don't believe it. Yeah, they're out there lying to you. So, alrighty. let's wrap that up. Oh, and I can go ahead and drop that down. And since I see a bunch of people here, since they didn't get it there, or they didn't find it where I posted it before. Okay, there we go. And for anybody new in here, that's wondering why I did 5 minutes, is because we have you have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes because it's troll season. The trolls are out. They're stuck at home in their mommy's basement. Got nothing better to do than see how many people they can antagonize and see how many channels they can get YouTube to kick by posting pornography links in the side chat. So, but they won't join, because if they join, then it can be traced to them. Thanks, Jeremy. And Jeremy, you went and shared it out. So, yeah. So let me go ahead and bring this back up here just so I can verify something here. What's interesting here, I posted 2 videos here this afternoon. Hey, Tofu, how's it going? I went and posted one on Camp Patton Family Compound first. And then about half an hour later, I got the one posted up here on Gray Man Prepping, because I'd go out and start shoveling some of that stuff off. The one on Camp Patton, let's see if I can get over and check on this one here. Actually, there's Lewis trying to come up. Let's see if I see this picture here for a second. Let me go pop over here real quick and check my analytics over here. All right, Lewis, I'll bring you up here in a second. Hit the refresh on it. Now, the one I did over there, it had the exact same tags on it. The only difference was that it was in the title. The one had the one I did on Grain and Prepping, I added rain to the title. But the one over on Camp Patton Family Compound has 74 views in the last couple hours. The one here on Gray Man Prepping has over 1,400 views. Hey, Lewis. And so,
hey, how's it going?
It's amazing how from channel to channel things get pushed on one channel and they don't get pushed on another, but they got the exact same tags. And it was just kind of interesting. Of course, Gray Man's Prepping is the one I need the 17 more subscribers to, but it's and of course, what's interesting is I was actually down to needing only 14 yesterday, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, they took 3 of them away again. Yeah, it's hey, Prepper 101. Yeah, it's the great AI just going, oh, it's time for me to screw with somebody. They're getting close to being monetized. Okay, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Alicia, here's
me too.
Right, children's fever and pain medication, okay to use after expiration date. If so, for how long? None available here in Canada, so keeping what we have in case Corey needs it. That's liquid or powder? From what I heard from Doc Bones and Nurse Amy, the expiration date is when it starts to deteriorate, and it doesn't all of a sudden go, oh, we're good, we're good. Oh, we're bad. It goes, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Okay, we're still good. We're and it just kind of goes down.
Yeah, they're playing with my hours too, and they're playing with my subscribers too.
Yeah.
Because I guess lately I've been putting some videos where I've been getting 1,000 views or 400 views or 300 views, and
oh yeah, there was a video I did the other day. I checked it. The views was so much. The next day they took like 30 views away. It's like, how can someone unview a video? The views are counted automatically as someone clicks. And Tibor is right, Alicia. Once again, Doc Bones and Nurse Amy on doomandbloom.net, as well as their Doc Bones Nurse Amy YouTube channel as well. They got stuff on that there.
Yeah. One thing I guess you forgot to mention when you made that list of stuff for propane and medicine and that, loss of life because of the polar vortex.
Oh yeah, was it? You're right, Lewis. The news was reporting in Buffalo, there were 24 people. In Buffalo, New York, in the city of Buffalo, there were 24 people that died.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing too. Is, Ben Davidson was talking about that. It's like soon as the power goes out, especially if it goes out in the wintertime, if it from whatever reason, normal stuff going on, or if it goes out for a longer period of time, such as a solar flare, takes down some substations and transformers. There are areas that it's going to be, people, this is going to tick me off when I go into this hearing, so I'm going to get on a soapbox here. There's going to be people that, because, all right, they don't have power, so the fans on their gas furnaces aren't working, so the gas furnaces can't ignite or anything, and the electrical ignite won't be working. And then, of course, there are certain states under the socialist regime that have basically said you cannot build new housing using natural gas. You have to use electricity, which that state has a dramatic shortage of electricity. And so there's going to be more brownouts, more blackouts for that state. And then they want, in the next 13 years, they want everybody to have to own an electric car. More electricity.
I also heard about those electric cars. Some people couldn't even get a charge because it was that cold.
Oh yeah, when it gets to a certain temperature, you should not even try to charge those ion lithium batteries they're using in it, because it will damage the batteries severely if you even get it to charge. If you remember a couple weeks ago when I had Ben Gilmore from Minuteman Prep and poweredportablesolar.com up here, and he talked about, he goes, sometimes you just can't charge them if it gets so cold. And he goes, that's why they tell people don't build like a garden shed outside to put them in. You want them have them in where they stay warm so they can be charged.
Yeah, so you're right,
Prepper 101. They don't like the cold or extremely hot weather.
Yeah,
there's such a narrow field of operation on it. They'll operate a little bit out of that narrow field, but when we start operating out of that field, they start getting damaged and shortens their life cycles.
Yeah, I worked in a meat factory with electric forklifts and riding jiggers, and it just kills the battery.
Oh, yeah.
We had to take it into the warm storage area to charge them because it would take either forever or it just wouldn't charge.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Wayne has a comment here. I want to jump on here. We just moved. Yeah, Wayne just moved a bit, and it says, what they can fit in their cars do not have all our stuff on our preps to survive the storm of the century. It takes a bit of common sense. Yeah, that's it. And if you had had the preps you had with you, it probably would have been a lot more difficult. So, there is a poll out here going on. So everyone at the top there's a poll, and let's see, we got, let's see if it'll show it to me here. We got, is it worth it to you? And that's, prepping. That's the thing tonight. Prepping. Is it worth the bother? Is it worth it to you? 88% said yes. 12% said no. So, let a poll go here for another 10 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. Hey, Mary Beth, how's it going? And Vanessa Kitty, hey, welcome. And so there are things to consider when you're doing your preps. Is how is it worth it? And CB commented about the problem she had with the power outage going on. So CB, can you retype in what you did from yesterday's about how your preps helped you out? I know you said you had a stove and some other stuff, and how long were you without power? And so that's one of the things that, it doesn't have to be the apocalypse. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. It doesn't have to be an SHTF event that takes out the country. It can just be Mother Nature doing Mother Nature stuff on a cycle. Everyone's talking about, Glenn down there at How to Garden posted on Facebook about. He posted, first of all, it was a joke, and he goes, "Here's a participation trophy for Florida for joining the winner." And she had her stove, her little propane stove going, and some other stuff.
Yeah, up in here in Canada, we get ice storms where it'll rain and it'll freeze, and we'll lose power sometimes anywhere for a half an hour and I've seen it for about a week. And yeah, I the last place I lost it for a week, and I had a fireplace, and I'm glad I had it. The only thing I didn't have was a generator, and I was renting at the time, and I just paid my rent. And so I went back to the landlord. I said, "Buddy," and he had no power, and he says, "Yeah, I got to get me a couple of generators too. Let's go. You can have the rent back and catch up later, right?" Because he knew that I needed it for stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, every time something, at least with me, that happens, I learn from it, and I get a little more prepared.
Yeah. I'm keeping up on the chat here, different things going on here. And Timur says, as long as you're out of the wind, wrapped up in blankets, you can survive very low temperatures. You got plenty of layers. Hey, naughty heathen. And let's see here. All right, so suburban hillbilly flickered on eventually a confused computer on the refrigerator. It completely defrosted while we were out of town. Oh no! Came home with the living room covered in water. Oh man! Kaylin says, "What's really today? A guy showing had a strong request from the power cut back on during the weekend at its coldest." Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we want everybody has electric heaters, and it's really cold, so we want you to cut back on your use of electricity. Hey, if that's how you have it, yeah. Yeah, and that's you said, electricity out meant no heat for the house or the animals. Yeah, they were all, so this last couple of weeks here is a prime example of why, in my opinion, and probably most of yours out there as well, you need to prepare. You need to have preps. You need to have stuff, as much canned food as you can, because power goes out, your freezers and stuff aren't going to, necessarily being able to keep running. You got to have multiple ways to provide backup power, and realize you're not going to be able to power everything unless you happen to have some of those big old systems like Ben was talking about last week. where you can run your whole house on it. But the problem is when it starts snowing heavily, you got to get out there and keep those panels clean to try to keep the batteries so they can charge the batteries back up. And if it's snowing heavily enough, there's not going to be hardly any light coming through to charge up. That's why one of the things Ben was saying, because the charge controls now will block it at a certain. So once you run so much voltage amperage to it, it'll block the excess and just let it in. So if you're over paneled on a sunny day, it's going to stop it. If you're over paneled on a cloudy day, it's going to take everything it can get.
Yeah, I bet you, I hate to see people die because of the weather, but I bet you everybody that passed away because of weather, if you asked them if they could have done something differently, I bet you everybody that died in their cars would have said, yeah, for sure. Candles, food, whatever was needed to them, for their area, it's going to be different for me than it is for Gil. And it's going to be different for Gil than it is for me because we live in two different parts of the world. And it's going to be the same thing for everybody else, right? Like, being somewhat prepared, and you can't prepare for everything, but being somewhat prepared and learning where you can prepare because you did it before, it's a learning thing. I was watching another channel. It's not a right race. It's a lifetime achievement, because you always got to learn something,
Yeah. Now, Kaylin was mentioning that if the power's out, she loses her refrigerator freezer, and you can put the food out on the deck, and it'll stay nice and cold. Do the same thing here for a bit, but with Kaylin being in an apartment, they don't want her to have a portable heater in the apartment. But the thing is, though, if the power goes out for that section that substation covers several blocks around her and stuff, and it's out for a while, how's she going to stay warm in there? Yeah, you have just the outer, the apartments have one outer wall except the ones on the end which have two outer walls, but still they're not going to retain heat. They're not, weren't built that way. And we got Patty from Southern Blessed Homestead is in the house. And anybody slept in here? Okay. And so, yeah, that's just one of the things that you need to plan ahead for what you can do. Now, right now we're talking about power outage in extreme cold. 6 months from now, what are we going to be talking about? Power outage in extreme heat. So, hey, in another month or two, start planning for the summertime. Let's see. Aiden Ears in the house and How to Garden's in the house. Yeah, How to Garden from down in Florida, where they're now participating in winter. And Glenn also posted a picture of the showing the snow pattern fall in Florida from, what was that, 94? Glenn, was that 94 that was from? But yeah, so it's been about 30 years since the last time they froze down there. Yeah, that's it. It's better to beg forgiveness than ask permission on that. You don't tell the landlord you have one of those Mr. Betty heaters, and when it gets really cold, you can turn it on low and you use it. Have a thermometer in there and watch the temperature, and just keep it up where it's good for you, and you can turn it off a little bit.
Yeah, big time. Because I've rented before in a house and in apartments. The landlord could be liable for if you passed away because you froze to death.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Kaylin learned back in 2020 with the August. I can't pronounce that. Diorchero, how to pronounce it. She needed to up her backup power game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too is the Mr. Buddy heaters have the oxygen sensor on it, so the oxygen levels start to drop and the carbon monoxide starts to kick up, they'll shut off. So it's got that safety feature. All right, Glenn said it was 95, so 27 years ago, which is still, I mean, I don't remember back when in the early 70s when Florida had some heavy frost that came through and wiped out the citrus crops down there.
Yeah, it's supposed to get up to, like, tomorrow it's supposed to get up to +1, and then through the week, as it gets to the weekend, +7, +6, and it's supposed to rain on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's unusual for Canada, and I mean very unusual for Canada.
Yeah, it's like so I got the Mr. Buddy here. I have a couple other ones that other little area heaters that screw onto the the 20-pound or 30-pound propane tanks. I do have 2 kerosenes here, and I got probably 25 gallons of kerosene out there in the shop. So I got a couple different backups for heat. The only heat I have in the house here, though, is that I can use is the wood burning stove. The electric furnace does work, but the thermostat settings on it are kind of wonky. And I tried it out one time when I just had to get a little extra heat in here real quick, and it was running weird. So I only ran it for a couple hours and turned it off. And here is the man whose birthday it is here tomorrow. From Southern Blessed Homestead, it's Mac.
Yeah, I even got a 10,000 BTU kerosene heater and a couple of 5-gallon pails. And because I got the generator, I got 2 little space heaters, one for each washroom, so that the pipes don't freeze in there.
All right, let me see here. If anything, keep a sleeping bag, a mile or sleeping bag, and some hand warmers around. You combine all 3, you stay warm, and minuses. Yeah, you get. And the other thing to throw in with that is the Mylar space blankets and the wool army blankets. Because if you open up your sleeping bag, lay out the Mylar, lay out one of the wool sleeping wool blankets on it, fold it back over, zip it up, and you crawl in between the wool blankets, and you'll stay toasty warm.
Yeah, I got like a whole bunch of comforters, like for your bed.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of the down comforters here as well. We got two wool blankets laying in on the bed right now, and then I got another one laying over here. So I got three wool blankets, several comforters and stuff here. But the thing is that bothers me is that I can stay warm and cold, but the water pipes.
Yeah.
Don't want water pipes breaking in here.
Yeah, our water, my well, it's 4 feet down. You know that little casing that sometimes comes up to the ground? Well, I got a nice big well housing that I got to take a ladder down to get to the well casing, right? And it's about 4 feet down, and then the stuff that goes into the house, it's 4 feet underneath the ground.
All right. So I'm sorry. The poll here is now at 90%. Yes, it's worth it to you to get prepared. 10% no.
Yeah, and that's just how far the frost goes down on a regular basis here in Canada. It's gone further, but we usually leave our taps on a trickle.
Yeah.
When it's at that point, right?
Yeah.
Because it's usually.
Oh, Mary Beth says I need to change the no Cheeto eating thing. Okay, I'll put a different banner up there here. Where are we at here? And let me check here just to make sure. Oh, I got to change this first. Hang on. Edit this. We're now 16 away. Save. And put that one up there. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. So, is it, back over here to this. And you got to look at whether or not what you're getting is worth the money you're spending on it. If you say, "Oh, I'm going to get the biggest and baddest generator I can get," and line up a bunch of 5-gallon cans of diesel or gasoline, whatever that generator runs on, and you're out of power for weeks, was it really worth it getting that, or would it have been better to have gotten a bunch of solar panels and a portable power station, hooked them up to it, so you could keep some things going on for several weeks?
Yeah.
And there's also some people say, "Oh, it's too much hassle to get stuff to get prepared. I don't like the taste of freeze dried." Well, you don't have to get freeze dried. You don't have to get the rice in the buckets and the pasta in the buckets. You can get what you normally. In fact, that's what I advocate all the time. Get what you normally eat. So basically, the mantra is: store what you eat what you store. And just rotate your food stock. You just keep on building up your supply as you work through it.
Yeah, like for instance, I don't have a freeze dryer, but I don't get freeze dried food. And it's not because I don't like it. I'm planning on getting a freeze dryer myself at one point. But for now, I'm dehydrating everything and freezing everything in the freezer and canning everything.
Yeah.
So if it's the stuff I put into the freezer, it's going to go to soups, and I pressure can it when it needs to get pressure canned, right? With the meat, and I dehydrate what I need to dehydrate, like I got dehydrated fruit for oatmeal, like it's just one less. And I'm eating a bit healthier too.
Q is in the house. All right, let me check one thing out here, of course. Let's see, I got to fix something on the other computer here real quick, folks. And there we go. That one and there. And the thing is, we talk about generators and stuff, and Ben and I mentioned this, both not only with generators, but with the portable power stations and stuff. They may say 5,000 watts or 10,000 watts or 20,000 watts. That's the maximum that you can run them at, but that's not good for them. Figure on doing half load, or at least take it down to half load at least, so you're not working the battery so hard, so you're not working the generator so hard, so you're not working the engine of the generator so hard. And a generator that is running at 50% load, the motor itself lasts longer, the generator itself lasts longer, the bearings last longer because there's less pressure and torque on everything. And so it just runs better and it lasts longer. because the heat produced by making a generator takes a toll on the copper wiring and all the components of the generator. With a portable power station, same thing. The heat that builds up from the battery being drawn on, the inverter and everything else adds more wear and tear if you're above the 50% line on it.
So it's better to buy bigger than it is to buy what you need.
Yeah, you figure out what you need, and you figure, all right, if I need say 5,000 watts minimum here, then I'm going to get 15,000 watts. If I need 2,500 watts, I'm going to get 7,500 watts. That's just my personal rule of thumb. Having worked in electricity and being a contractor, it's like, this is what I need. This is what I'm getting, because there are surges and there's other things may come into play that you didn't count on, where all of a sudden you need to use more power. Yeah. Vanessa says, if you need a portable generator, ensure that you can make it so you can actually move it. Yeah. Some of those portable generators takes 3 men and a boy to move.
Yeah, all I got is one of those construction style ones, and it's on wheels.
Yeah, I have that one from Costco. I did the video on it on Camp Patton Family Compound, the Furman Tri-Fuel. It's got wheels on it. Worst comes to worst, if it can be loaded into the back of the truck with one other person, or if I get my tractor, I can just drop a strap off it, pick it up, and set it in the back of the truck.
Or even ramps to the back of your truck.
I have the ramps would have to be 12 foot long, so it's to get it at a decent angle. It'd be just easier just to pick it and drop it in the back. Very good, Wayne. Very good. Eat some fruit. Get my tongue untied here. Eat freeze-dried food for 2 weeks and see what your body does. You could plug up. B, you could be a member of Courtney's Poop Troop, or depending on what the freeze-dried foods you're eating is, it may not do anything at all. All I know is my scouts love the chili mac and the spaghetti, and they ate a lot of that going on at scout camps and stuff. And fortunately, it didn't disagree with any of my scouts. Buy a big mill. Yeah. There's you figure out what your needs are. And going back here a little bit to see if it's worth it for you. What is your minimum power needs? Well, for me, minimum power needs is I need to keep the chest freezer out in the shop going, but since it's so friggin' cold out there, that'll probably run about 30 minutes a day. I got the refrigerator freezer in the house here. If I don't open it, it usually goes several hours before it cycles on for about 5-10 minutes and turns off. It has a short cycle time. So I just need to check the wattage on that. But that and the lights, I got plenty of candles. I got plenty of oil lamps. I got plenty of kerosene and oil and lamp oil. So for lighting, I'm good on that. I got my Mr. Heater I got 4 30-pound propane bottles out in the shop, and I got 3 20 pounders. I got a bunch. And so, yeah, like Sean in Alaska, he runs his in his little camper, and he changes out. I think every 2 weeks he changes out a bottle. I think it is. I may be wrong. It may be every week, but still, I can figure it out. I was at Costco yesterday, and I almost got a second Mr. Buddy, because for $70 they had the Mr. Buddy with the filter and the hose to hook it up to a tank. That filter right now on Amazon is $24. So that brought the price down to $65 or $66 for the Mr. Heater. And then the hose is Mr. Heater hose is probably another $18 to $20. I haven't checked lately on the hose, but yeah. So that that puts the price down of the Mr. Heater down to where I got mine 4 years ago. So it's like that's a real good deal. This As he says, shut all the vents in your home off, 2 to 4 of the except your bedroom. Yeah. Yeah. Right now I have 21 100-watt panels, and I have 15 15-watt panels. So I can generate quite a bit here, but it's like once I get everything set up, even with just the panels I have, it'll more than charge up my battery banks and stuff to cover what I really need. Problem is I don't have it set up yet. Bad gill. But we got to figure out how we're going to set things up, and I'm still changing things around, and things are going to be a little bit. We got to figure out where we want the panels up. We don't want them up on the roof. And I was trying to figure out where we want to set them up, where they get the full summer and full winter light, but where they're not an eyesore. And to me, it's like eyesore or utility. Utility is going to win for me.
Yeah, I'd make sure that you can make it swivel, like so it's up and straight up and down, or so that so when it snows out, it's not snowing on them and it sticks to it. It just, because I've seen other channels where they've got it on an angle and they got to go out and clear it off all the time. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is what you need. Let's see if I can bring it up here and move it over here. Yeah, and that's the problem. Like Kaylin doesn't have direct sunlight. She's got shaded areas. She's got trees, another house thing over there, so it makes it hard for her to really charge up her panels, charge up her unit that she has. All right, Wayne, take care and have a good night. And so, hang on, let's see, is that the right one still? All right, there's the link again. And so I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here. All right. And there it is, popped up there. So, we got some odd numbers here, because it says 89% yes, 10% no. So I guess 1% is I don't know, but I didn't have an I don't know in there. All right. So let me pull something up here. I want to share this with you since we're talking about that. I got to go to my account list, my wish list. There we go. Wish list down to solar. I put it there. Yes. Okay. This is the first time I've seen this up on Amazon. So this is a system that has the motors on it. So this is an electric, so you can program this. So that it has electric actuators on it. And so you can set it so it will track the sun. And if you get the right programming module for it, you can get it so that it will turn vertically at night. Let's get this over here. Yeah, so you can get it so it turns vertically, and that's so it comes up straight up and down. And if you get a good controller for it, you can control it from the house. If it's snowing out there, you can go vertical and make it just go override the stuff and just go to vertical to put it back on automatic.
Yeah, because you see some of the branches, right? When you get the ice, the rain and the ice, and it starts sticking to the branches, right? They start hanging much lower, right?
Yeah.
It could break some of those solar panels or destroy that whole pad.
Well, the thing is, it's made for to handle the weather and stuff, but it's just because it's balanced there on its thing. But once if you're getting that type of stuff, you just turn it vertically.
Yeah.
But the problem is, even in turning panels vertically, we've had snow here. Where one time I went to open the door, and the entire door had snow packed all where it been blowing against, coming in at an angle, just stuck to the door. So
I've had my windows too. I could do a video up. It's stuck to the trees. It's stuck to the fence.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, where am I now here? Hang on. Okay. Oh, my video is now up to 1,419 views on the one I did today of the lightning here, and I forget which one I have. I think it's the one on Camp Patton Family Compound, where I'm filming. I open the door there, and there's a lightning strike. And about the time I'm done, boom, there's another lightning strike. So less than a minute, 2 lightning strikes. And that's the way it was going. So, yeah, so, but it lasted, I guess, what, about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And then the lightning, it all moved on. So that thunderhead had moved on, and we weren't getting it. And that's when I got back out there with the snow shovel and just started trying to scrape all that stuff off before it froze. Oh, Tibor says they're going from 35 below tomorrow to over 40. I think that's 40 above zero. Yes. And for those that have been commenting, you got to be careful. All right. Because we're outside, I have the IBC totes with the metal racks on them out there. Well, the whole house has metal siding on it. And then the big barn, but the big shop next to us, which is twice as tall and everything, has a metal roof, is all metal. And then just on the other side of that are the huge cottonwood trees. And these cottonwood trees are 100 years old almost. Some of them, I mean, they're old. I mean, you're talking some of the base on the one is like 8-foot diameter. And, as far as I can tell, they've never been hit by lightning. And I've talked to some of the guys in town, and they go, yeah, we get a lot of lightning around here, but it really doesn't hit anything. It always seems to stay away from town, strike all around the town, which is only a quarter mile square, and hit out in the fields, out at the irrigation pipes out in the field. So
yeah, usually it goes for either the highest metal thing or trees or something in a field.
Because all the irrigation pipe is laying out there.
Yeah.
And it's got snow on it. Oh, it's a big, long grounding rod out there in the field. Yeah. And it's like, here I am, come get me.
Yeah. I was about to say that, or something that's metal or something like that. That's in the middle of a field where it doesn't belong.
Yeah, the one here. Let's see if I can. I'm not sure if I can pull this one. Is that the one? Hang on here. Let me see if I can pop this up here for you. Which one is this? This is the. No, that's not the one. Hang on. Let me pull it off this other one here. Pull this over here.
It's here in Canada.
Yeah.
My house is grounded, like through the electrical panels.
Yeah.
It's grounded. And my propane tanks are grounded.
Yeah. All right. So see. Okay. So this one here. This is the one from over on Camp Patton Family Compound. And so it's hailing on Chris there. She's trying to video it. That's the video that she's doing. That's when I took it. So we just had a lightning strike over there. And so, yeah, this is about the time she comes in. And then I go back out a little farther. We get another big lightning strike out there in way over there. And so watch, here comes the lightning strike. We'll have one right out here in a second here. So this is 54 seconds. And here it comes. Boom. And that was like 3 blocks away. Yeah, so at that point, it was most of it had moved beyond us, and it was really kind of interesting there. So let me get it back to content, and we get that back where it belongs over here. There we go. All right, so we're about time to wrap it up here. Let's let me grab the list here and see what's coming up here for the future here. All right, so Thursday night, we got the Midnight Ride here on Gray Man Prepping. Starts at 11:55 Eastern Time. Friday night on the Homestead is going to be New Year's Eve, and Bob's going to try to make it in from the Philippines. So it'll be his New Year's Eve because he's across the international date line. And then Monday night is New Year's recovery. We talk about resolutions and goals for 2023. And then here on next Tuesday, the topic is, what is the real danger we face? I'll give you a hint. Think of Alfred E. Newman on Mad Magazine. What? Me worry? If you can figure out what it is before we get there, good. But that's what's coming up here. Lewis, thank you for coming up here with me.
Yeah, no
everyone
problem.
In the side chat, thank you for coming in and sharing your stories and talking about things about this subject, about getting prepared and stuff, and what happened this last week here. And so, see you Thursday night on the Midnight Ride.
I'll see you later, Gil.